All right. Also, the big jihad this week, David, of course, is in Syria, where the jihadis that were beaten some years ago have resurged and taken the city of Aleppo, storming the palace, the presidential palace of Bashar al Assad in Aleppo, and screaming Allahu Akbar while they were there, just in case anybody did not know what they were all about. They also took Aleppo International Airport and went into the duty free shop, smashed bottles of alcohol while screaming Allahu Akbar. And they threatened to behead.
Let me correct you. While the camera was on, Robert. When that camera was off, we know these guys are getting wasted. Come on.
I don't know. Well, you're absolutely right. That's actually something that is worth noting, David, that Islam is all about appearances, that it doesn't really involve cultivating genuine virtue. It says that alcohol is terrible, that it is of Satan's handiwork, chapter 5 verse 90 of the Quran and so on. And really it's about making sure nobody sees you doing whatever, like eating during Ramadan or having a sip of whiskey or whatever you may be doing that is against the rules. As long as nobody sees you, you're good.
Oh, and there's this issue that keeps coming up all these times where you'd have a terrorist and they would say, "Oh, this terrorist really doesn't have anything to do with Islam because look, here he is in a strip club 2 nights before." Right? You also have, which I just conveniently read right before we're addressing this topic, but Sahih al-Bukhari 2787, Allah guarantees that He will admit the mujahid, that's the jihadi, in his cause into paradise if he is killed. It's a guarantee. If you die while fighting for Allah, it is a guaranteed trip to paradise.
Yep.
So, what if 2 days earlier you were in a strip club getting wasted and messing around with strippers?
You got your get out of jail free card.
It's a free pass. It's a free pass. So these guys who know they're going out to wage jihad and so on, they may be smashing these bottles on camera, but we know what they're doing when the cameras are off.
You're smashing 6 bottles, but there are 8 on the shelf. You slip 2 into your caftan. Who's going to know?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Anyway, as long as nobody sees it. There's a wonderful story. You ever read Sir Richard Burton's personal narrative of a journey to Mecca and Medina from 1852?
No, on account of I'm not a huge nerd.
It's a delightful book. Richard Burton, not Liz Taylor's husband, but an earlier Richard Burton. He wanted to make the pilgrimage to Mecca, but as a Muslim. He didn't want to go as a convert, which he may not have been. It's a little ambiguous as to whether he was really a Muslim at all or not. But he wanted to go and experience it the way an ordinary Muslim would. So he hatched this elaborate plan. He went to Egypt, to Cairo, and he posed as a Pashtun physician. See, because he had studied Arabic, he was fluent in Arabic, but he thought he's still not a native speaker. If there's anything he gets tripped up on, then he can ascribe it to being from Afghanistan, and it's so far away from Egypt in 1852, nobody's going to know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a foolproof plan, and all these people were coming to him. He was practicing medicine, kind of improvising and using folk remedies and such. And he was a respected member of the community until this Albanian Ottoman soldier came to Cairo on furlough. And they're chatting in the place where they're both staying, and the guy's got a bottle of booze, and they get drunk together, and they would have gotten away with it except the Albanian started getting loud and yelling that he would fight anybody in Cairo, in Alexandria as well, and beat them, and yelling and screaming, completely out of control. And so the next day the whole city was abuzz with the rumors that this pious doctor from Afghanistan had gotten drunk and how terrible it was. He actually had to leave the city. Anyway, he makes his pilgrimage to Mecca. It's a very interesting book. One other thing I'll say about it before we get back to the jihad is Burton is in Arabia on his way to Mecca, and he's got these Arab guides, and he sees these monkeys that he's never seen the like before. You know, he's a 19th century Englishman. He has a very
Were they
great interest in. Yes, they were.
were they stoning an adulteress?
No, but he asked the Arabs what kind of monkeys they were because he didn't recognize the species, and they said, "Oh, those are the Jews."
There you go.
Yeah,
That would have been my number two guess.
yeah, yeah. Hey, great book, anyway. When you become a colossal nerd, be sure to pick up Admiral Sir Richard Burton's personal narrative of a journey to Mecca and Medina, a pilgrimage. Anyway, you can get the idea. I might not have the title exactly right. It's one of those long 19th century titles.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and yeah, I could either read the book or I could just pull that stunt myself.
Good idea. We already got your video from inside the Kaaba.
I will be Sheikh Daoud Hesheb, and I shall
Beautiful.
visit, and I shall take the pilgrimage.
This is going to be great. I look forward to the videos.
But I shall go back to the earlier days of Islam when the black stone was used as a toilet.
Yikes! You remind me
Guys,
of the remember the Carmatians?
yeah,
You
yeah, that's what
remember
I was referring to. Yeah.
keeping up with the, yeah, exactly.